Hey everyone, welcome to GURPS with Derps. My name is Aaron, and I will be your host and game master today. We will be playing the Saiyajin Wars campaign, created from scratch using the GURPS 4th edition rule set. Today, my word is law, but the players provide the real entertainment. I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Jared, and I play Phalon Thunderhooves, the last of the unicorns. Phalon is a large unicorn coming in at 13 feet tall with his horn and weighing several hundred pounds. Basically a large warhorse, though he would be quick to tell you he's not a horse. I also play Alexa, a 6 foot tall, dark haired, blue eyed woman. She is Phalon's traveling companion, caretaker, and protector.
My name is Trevor, and I play the character Burkest Halfor. Burkest is your average sized gnome, standing at about 3.5 feet. He has sandy blonde hair and green, mischievous eyes.
Hi, my name is Josh. I play the character of Archibald Pinkerton. He is a goblin of average goblin height, 5 foot. He has black shoulder length hair tied into a bun and a goatee, and is followed around by an incorporeal donut named Frogdeer.
I'm Tyler. I play Amir. He's a human. He's a little over 6 feet tall. He's got auburn hair and honey skin.
Now that you've met everybody, let the story begin.
Welcome to Saiyajin. We've put together our campaigns. We've talked about the world. As a quick overview, there has been a 20-year war with a necromancer who raised all the dragons, or who killed all the dragons, and then took them over as thralls and attacked the kingdom of Saiyajin. All of the races surrounding the kingdom banded together to defeat the necromancer. Multiple races have been wiped out. The population has been severely curtailed, shall we say. It has been 2 years since the end of the war. The king had died. His brother, King Croto, has taken over in his place. And the army has currently been trying to recruit new members. They've managed to, as a kingdom, to establish some areas around the capital city that are secure. They have farming going on, etc. It's been a couple of years, but things are still pretty difficult. The army is trying to reestablish numbers to try to be able to control more of the wilderness that's cropped up without people, as monsters seem to have taken hold outside of the capital city. Bandits are fairly common outside of the capital city, as well as other, let's just say, not so friendly groups. So each of you has a background and has chosen to join up with the Saiyajin army. Through random luck, you are all paired together, and this is your first day reporting to duty. You've been told to report to the training grounds just north of the Central Plaza to a Sergeant Barakius, who will work on making sure that you guys know your basic combat skills. Let's do a quick overview. So this is the capital city. I should probably show you that. So this is Saiyajin, the city. Right now, we're going to be going to the training grounds. A couple things to note. I don't know if you guys can look at this whenever, but as we discover new areas, they'll get particularly prominent areas. We'll have markers around them so you guys can see the training ground. And then the party's position will be marked with the yellow square. So that actually can give you a reference to each of these buildings. All of the combat maps will be drawn. I actually use this as the background, so all the combat maps will line up with each of these buildings specifically.
Oh.
So, all right. So we're reporting to Sergeant Brachius at the training grounds. So as you walk in, you see a grumpy old man wearing leather armor and a legionary's helm. So Sergeant Barakius begins yelling at you right away. All right, you sorry pukes, get yourselves in a line. I'm supposed to teach you how to actually survive when you're trying to fight somebody. Now, I don't have much faith in that. My guess is you all are going to die within your first week. But my job is to try to make sure you at least last the first week so we can at least get some worth out of your sorry little lives. So everybody get in a line and hurry up.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, who's about it?
Sergeant Barakius looks over all the each of you as you line up in front of him. Seeing the goblin, he gives him a really strange look. Oh, what the heck is that floating next to you?
Oh, that be me doing it, pal.
Your what?
The hell is a donut, pal?
Let's just see. It follows me around a bit.
Fair enough. We eat some fucking strange things around here. God damn, I hate magic. And what the fuck? He's got a fucking unicorn in here. God damn it. I thought y'all were dead.
Do you have a problem with unicorns, sir?
I don't like you poking around in my head is all.
I'm not poking
Fucking
around.
thought reading around little red. Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, don't matter. We don't have much time. I got another group coming in, so we need to get right down to it. First, what's that?
Was the unicorn broadcasting that, or just talking directly to the commander?
If I was talking directly to the commander, you wouldn't have heard me.
I'm just saying, that'd be weird enough. He was just talking to
Are you
the
saying
horse?
this in character?
No, obviously.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to have to teach you, sorry, little pukes, is how to hit something. Look over on the wall over there to your left. You see those training dummies? Each of you needs to line up in front of one of them.
And what's about we don't hit it?
If you don't hit it, I'll hit you.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Boy, you're about to get hit a lot if you have that kind of attitude with me.
Told myself.
No attitude at all, sir.
But I can put a new one up every time.
Do you want me to move it for you?
Yeah, I think you'll have to.
Okay. So just tell me what you're doing then.
I'm moving in front of the dummy to hit it.
Okay. All right. Now each of you is standing in front of your dummy. The first thing you're going to need to do is draw your weapons and ready them. Now, when you're in combat, it takes time. When you're in combat, it takes time to ready your weapons. If somebody comes at you and they've got their sword drawn already, they'll get the first hit on you. So, if you think you're in a dangerous situation, make sure you have your weapons drawn. So, first thing we're doing, draw your weapons. All right, at this point, we are going to act as if this is combat. So we are going to have turn orders. So the first thing we're going to do is put everybody in their turn order, and that is based on your speed. All right? And the reason we're doing this is so we can actually like practice through turn orders. And one of the things you do have to do in turns in combat is drawing weapons. So Archibald, you're first.
Okay. So let me see here, because there's something for this, right?
Something to just ready your weapon?
I
Or-
don't.
You have to draw. So right now everybody has their weapons sheathed. Okay.
Okay.
That's because I mean you guys wouldn't walk into a training grounds with your weapons drawn,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I mean, one might not go over very well. Tyler's like, I might. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is to draw your weapon.
Okay.
And that takes 1 second to draw and ready a sword, for example. So what weapon do you have for as far as melee weapons?
I have a short staff and a small knife, which I don't have stats for.
Okay, that's fine. Small knife is going to be reach close, and the stats are already in your sheet. The weapons in GURPS don't have individual damage stats. They have reach and sometimes some other things. So right now, just choose which weapon you're drawing.
I will draw my small knife.
Okay. So you're going to draw and ready your small knife.
Okay. Draw and ready
Okay.
my small knife then.
Okay. The next one is. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry, Burke. You're actually first. I should have read that better. So.
Alright, I draw and ready
Burke
one of my
next.
long knives.
Okay. And then after Burke, then it's Archie, and after Archibald, then it is going to be Alexa. Alexa draws and readies her short sword. After that, it is Amar.
And draw and ready my dagger.
Here, a second. I got to turn off Alexa in the living room. She keeps hearing.
I wondered how long that would fucking take. All for the joke.
I mean, at this point, remember, in character, you guys don't know each other at all.
Right. This is out of character saying this.
Yeah. And as I'm going, it is okay for you guys to, to interact with each other as we go, too. So, if somebody ever, all of you guys just saw a goblin walk in with an incorporeal floating donut, so.
That's just a Tuesday for me, man.
It might be.
I don't want to interrupt the sergeant, though. He's my commanding officer.
Right.
All right. So Burke, Archie, Alexa, Amar. Which weapon did you draw, Amar?
My dagger.
Dagger. Okay. And then Phelan, you. The sergeant looks at Phelan. All right, you're a bit different there. You can't actually wield a weapon. So, good luck for you, Phelan. Even though you're the slowest one in the group, you can actually attack before anybody else. All right, so...
Well, I could unsheath something for you if you'd like.
With what?
I don't
have
want
any
to see
fucking
it.
hands.
I don't want to fucking see
Phelan
it.
stares directly at the gnome and just kind of lets the tip of his dick fall out.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, put that away. God.
Can I target that quick? Throw a dagger?
Sergeant, can we get a no dicks out rule, please?
The next one to whip it out, I'll cut it off.
Phelan pulls it back in. Far, far in.
Yeah, now
All
fucking
right.
keep it there. God damn.
So it's Phelan's turn in combat. Now, if this were in like an actual combat, we wouldn't have this much talking for each turn. Each turn supposedly represents 1 second.
Right.
But, again, we're going to be generally flexible. I'm not going to be super hardcore about this. All right, so Phelan, it's your turn. You do not have to ready a weapon, so you may attack the dummy.
I will attack the dummy.
Okay, but you have multiple attacks, so you have to declare what attack you're doing.
I believe it says there in my roll.
Oh, okay. I wasn't on the chat. All right, you used just the tip. Is that your swiping melee attack?
Yes.
All right. So Phelan sweeps his head to the side, dragging the tip of his horn across the chest of the dummy. Roll for damage. The dummy can't dodge, so. Damage. 7 cutting damage. The horn rips a pretty large gash into the chest of the training dummy. What the goddamn hell kind of attack was that? I would not want to be stuck by that thing. You keep it away from me, you hear? All right. Burke, it's now your turn. We're back to the beginning of the turn order. You have your weapon ready, so you may attack your dummy.
Alright, I attack the dummy.
And then that is swinging damage. So first of all, let's see if you... All right. I got to get back to the chat here. It is a resounding success as you solidly connect with the training dummy. Roll for damage. And you deal 1 damage.
Woo! Take that, you stupid dummy.
You call that an attack?
Sergeant Brachious looks at the at Burkess, the small gnome, and goes, "Boy, how did you ever survive to be as old as you are?"
I mean, I'm a gnome. I don't usually try to get into fights.
Fair enough. All right, Archibald, you're next.
All right, let's see how this goes.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but I can't help it. Okay, you need to swing for your attack first. So what weapon are you using?
A small knife.
Okay, so you need to use your knife skill on your character sheet to roll against that. Or you could just roll 3D dice as long as you already know what your knife skill is. But if you click the dice next to the skill, it'll give you the nice box with the type, the roll, and your target.
Was that supposed to be like a technique thing?
No. No. If you go to your actual skills tab.
Okay.
And you did not take knife. So you don't have knife.
Okay.
So that means that if you're attacking with a knife, you are going to be using the base skill for whatever knife is. So let me find that out for you. Knife is easy. So on your character sheet, Archibald, add a skill.
All right.
You can just do knife because it's for any knife. Okay. Yeah. Your attribute is Dex.
Okay.
So change the attribute to DX. Leave it at easy. Now if you click the dice, you'll roll. That's how you roll for your attack with a knife. Any attack to hit is based on the skill that you have in that particular weapon. So roll the dice and you'll roll for attack.
No modifier, right?
No modifier that I'm aware of. And success. So you hit. So now you're going to roll for damage. So on your general tab, you can click the bang next to cutting damage, assuming you were cutting. And so this is the other thing too. To hit is the same if you're impaling or cutting for most weapons. There are some differences, so we'll get that all figured out in the attack later.
Cutting?
So
Swing.
assuming you were making a cutting attack, it's swing, right?
Okay.
You're swinging the weapon. I mean, crushing, cutting, whatever is based on the weapon, but you're either swinging or you're thrusting your weapon. So you're swinging your weapon.
Gotcha.
So swing damage, right? And you deal 1 damage.
Not really my thing.
You two are.
The sergeant just shakes his head. Oh, sorry, Latia. All right, Alexa, you get her up next. Alexa takes a stance before the dummy and swings her short sword at it. All right, it's a hit. For 1 damage.
Alexa.
So Alexa coughs. Alexa coughs quietly. Sorry. All right, Amar, you're up next.
Alexa's Scottish now? I thought you were gonna try to recreate the Alexa voice.
Well,
My dagger?
Scottish is fine.
I don't really know the Alexa voice that well. I'm sorry. Is that better?
No, do the Scottish.
Sorry. All right, Amar, you swung for attack. You got a hit, and you did 3 impaling damage. So you tried to stab the dummy. All right.
Look at that! He did as much damage as the 3 of you combined.
Yeah, he's also like almost twice my size.
And twice as full, it appears.
All right, Phelan, it's your turn again.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
5.
Wow, real impressive over there, Mr. Unicorn.
You didn't tell me these would be moving dummies.
I think there's only one moving dummy in here, apparently.
It appears to have 4 legs.
All right, good job for most of you. I'm a bit disappointed that the big old horse over there couldn't hit nothing on that second attempt, but You win some and you lose some. All right. So now I know that all of you can at least try to hit the dummy. But combat is more than just swinging your swords or your horns at enemies. There's a number of things that you can try to do. First thing you can do is stand there and do nothing.
I mean, I think the
Generally,
unicorn's doing that enough for all of us.
Generally, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, if you're standing there and doing nothing, if you make the choice not to do anything, you can still defend yourself if somebody attacks you. Next thing you can do in combat is you can move around. It's pretty nice right now that the dummies just stand in front of you and don't do nothing, but sometimes in combat you've got to move. You walk into a room or a cave and you see the enemy standing at the end of the cave. You don't just stand there and wait for them to run up to you. Or if he's got a bow, you're not going to just stand there and take the attacks unless you're stupid, which you may be. We'll find out. So, during your combat, you can move. The other thing you can do is change your posture. Now, most of the time, if you're fighting in combat, you're going to be standing on your feet. But if you're walking, say, down a canyon and a bunch of archers start shooting down on you, you don't want to just stand there and let them have easy targets. You can lie down, or you can kneel, and you can crawl. These things take time, all right? So, right now, I want each of you to try to sit down, to try to get away from some imaginary arrows that are flying through the room. So again, we're going to treat this as a combat. Burke, go ahead. So the important part of this is as we go through this, it takes 1 second to move from a standing to either a sitting, kneeling.
Right for the recording.
Right. It takes 1 second to go from a standing or crouching. Crouching is, just bending down a little bit, to a sitting, kneeling, or crawling position. And then it takes an additional second to lie down, unless you just want to go straight to lying down. You can go straight to lying down from standing. Okay? So, Burke, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
I sit down.
Okay. Archibald.
I am going to sit down.
Alexa sits
Josh,
down carefully.
Josh, when you're chewing, mute your mic.
Yeah, it is so loud. I guess unless you're doing it in character.
Right,
but...
right.
That's just the sound the donut makes.
It's a crunchy donut.
The crackling of it. Magic.
Right? Okay. So, Alexa, Amar, what are you doing?
Can I dramatically roll back? Or should I just sit down?
You can do whatever you want. It's up to you. It's your turn.
I want to dramatically roll back away from the dummy.
Okay. You dramatically roll back away from the dummy. What the hell are you doing over there? The arrows are coming from behind you and you just rolled right into them.
Not if they're aiming where I was.
Well, it depends on how it goes. All right. Phelan.
Phelan just, with no class, just drops onto his haunches.
Making a loud plopping sound.
Yes.
All right. So, when you're smaller, you're harder to hit. So if you're crouching, crawling, kneeling, or sitting, it is significantly harder for them to hit you. All right, I want each of you to lay down. Now, if you're out in combat, I'd suggest that you lay down behind cover if you're being targeted by archers. But in this case, I just want you all to lay down. Burke?
I lay down flat on my back.
Arch?
I lay down in the sexy French girl pose.
Alexa lays down on her stomach. Amar?
I drop just like I have no bones all of a sudden, staring right at the commander.
Phelan?
I, just as unceremoniously as before, flop over on my side.
All right. Now each is laying down. The big problem now, laying down gives you an advantage and makes it harder to hit for ranged attacks. However, it takes 2 seconds to get back on your feet. So the first thing you're going to do is you have to get back to your sitting, kneeling, or crawling position, and then you can stand up. Burke?
I kneel.
Archibald?
I also kneel.
Alexa?
God, I hope she
Alexa, yeah, that's me. Sorry. Alexa
I'm
pops
sorry,
up.
I didn't hear you.
Alexa uses her hands to hop up into a kneeling position. Amar?
I go to a kneeling pose.
Since you're on your back, you have to roll over first.
I roll over then.
Phelan?
Phelan struggles back to his haunches.
Which is true. Burke?
His back legs are kind of like sticking out, like trying to balance himself. Has to like rock back and forth a couple of times to get the momentum.
Burke?
I stand up.
Archibald?
I stand up.
Alexa stands up. Amar?
I get on my knee.
Phelan?
Phelan stands up and shakes off all the dirt.
All right. And then, Amar, you can finish standing up.
Okay.
All right. I want all of you to notice who took the longest to stand up. If you're going to lay down on your back, you've got to roll over before you can get up. None of you are fancy martial artists who can get up any faster. Pay attention to what you're doing. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about, evaluating. During combat, you do not have to just hack and slosh away as fast as you can every opportunity that you get. You can pay attention to what your enemy's doing. When you do that, it'll make it easier for you to hit your enemy. Okay? So, we're going to go back into combat. Each of you is going to evaluate, and then you're going to attack. Okay, so the first round, Burke, what are you doing?
Evaluate.
Archibald.
I evaluate.
Alexa evaluates, looks closely at her dummy. Amar.
I evaluate.
And Phelan.
I look at my dummy dubiously and evaluate it.
All right, Burke, it's back to you. Now, you can go ahead and attack this round. Or you can evaluate again. It's up to you.
So what exactly did evaluating do?
Well, find out.
All right, I'll attack again. Or I will attack the dummy.
When you attack, when it asks for your modifier, add a +1.
All right, so then it was skills.
All right. Then you can roll for damage, but we're not tracking damage, so don't worry about that right now. So what evaluate does, from a rules perspective, each turn that you evaluate gives a +1 to your skill for an attack. Okay? You can evaluate for up to 3 turns to get a +3 advantage.
Okay.
All right?
Does that advantage last the whole combat, or just against that enemy, or just until your next attack?
Until your next attack.
Okay.
All right? So, Arch, are you going to evaluate, or are you going to...
Attack.
You're going to attack? All right.
Yeah.
So add on the mod, just make sure you add 1.
All right. All right. Critical success.
Ooh. Nice.
Ooh, a crit success. All right, on a crit success, just so you guys know, the enemy would not get an opportunity to defend.
All right.
Bam. Then you just go straight to roll for damage.
Okay.
Okay. And then Alexa is going to go ahead and attack. with her short sword for swinging. And since she evaluated, she gets a modifier of 1.
Too good.
And got a hit. All right. After Alexa, we have Amar.
So I rolled away from the dummy, right? So I'm not standing in front of it?
You are, well, I guess how far did you roll? Did you roll a full hex?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to do what's called a move and attack. It's the same thing as an attack, except that you get a -4 modifier on a move and attack. So you can move up to the dummy and attack again. You get -4 for move and attack. You get +1 for your evaluate.
I would like to evaluate again, actually.
Okay. So you're going to evaluate again.
Yep, but I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay. So you're evaluating again, and then Phelan.
Phelan continues to stare at his dummy, but at this point he just kind of looks a little clouded over. But he is evaluating again.
All right. Sergeant Brachius walks up behind Amar with the wooden sword he has in hand and tries to hit Amar on his back, or on his side. All right. So he rolls
a success.
A success. Now, Amar is not a training dummy. Okay. So Amar, you may dodge, you may block, or you may parry. I'm imagining that I'm attacking you from the side. So let me clarify my position. I'm attacking you from the side, not from behind. So you can block, parry, or dodge.
Oh no!
And you tried to dodge and you failed. Sergeant Brachius' wooden sword smacks you soundly on the side of your arm. Now, one important thing to note. You can do other things without losing what you learned from watching your opponent. All right, Burke, we're back to you. Are you going to take any actions this turn?
Excuse me?
Oh, Phelan. You already evaluated. What do you mean, excuse me? What?
The horse.
I go after Amar.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
evaluating
evaluating
right now.
Oh, okay. You already said you were evaluating.
Yeah. Oh,
I went after you. Sergeant Brachius took a turn.
Okay, fine. God, I thought we went through a whole one again. Get over it.
After you, Sergeant Brachius took a turn and went and smacked Amar to prove a point.
Okay, fine.
Burke, it's your turn.
I do nothing. Well, I turn and stare and watch Amar take a beating.
8 hits. 1 hit.
He didn't do any damage, so you're fine. Archibald, your turn.
I ask, Amar, are you okay?
I ignored him.
Okay.
Because it's 1 second, I mean...
Alexa hides a cough behind her hand. Amar, it's your turn.
Okay. So I have my weapon readied already, right? I'm
Yes,
not
you
going to
do.
kill the commander, just for the record. Like,
You're what?
everybody.
I missed that last bit.
Do I have to ready it again, or can I just throw it? Because I want to hit my dummy.
Okay, if you throw your weapon, evaluate won't work. Evaluate only works for melee attacks.
No, he's asking if he has to ready his weapon again, or if it's still ready.
He does not have to ready his weapon. It's already ready.
So I didn't know that evaluating wouldn't work, which is good to know.
But
So
you can move and attack still, or you can evaluate, or you can throw.
I don't know that.
Okay, so that's your call. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna throw my dagger.
Okay.
What? Jeez.
You missed.
Christ, you
put the
called that a
modifier?
knife throw? Sheesh.
I don't get the modifier because the thing doesn't work on a ranged attack.
Evaluate.
Yeah.
Sergeant Brachious just shakes his head. Evaluates and only works if you're going to just stab him or swing your weapon at him. If you want to throw, you've got to aim. Aim's a bit different. You're getting ahead of the group here. Why don't you go and pick up your dagger?
I glower and I go get my dagger.
All right, so you can't move yet because that was the end of the combat turn. Phelan would be next in combat.
Phelan will attack after evaluating twice.
So you get a mod of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a crit hit, which would ignore. They would not have any active defenses.
Okay.
So now, one of the things I want to call out here: 3 and 4 are always crit hits. The reason he got a crit hit is if you are modded above, if you roll 10 more, better than 10 from your target, it's a crit hit up to 5, and like anything above a 6 can't be a crit hit. But 5 and 6 can be a crit hit if you have a high enough target. Okay? So Jared would get a crit hit on a 3, 4, 5, or 6 when his target is 16.
Okay.
So if you evaluate, you also if you're close to that threshold on your target, you can actually push your crit hit chance up as well. So that's something to pay attention to. Okay? So Jared got a critical hit on the dummy. All right, so Phelan's done. I'm going to assume at this point, well, Burke, what are you doing?
I attack my dummy again.
All right, go ahead and swing for an attack. Or impaling, whichever it is you're doing. It doesn't matter for hitting, it does matter for the damage roll. So.
And I hit.
And you hit. Okay. Then you roll for damage depending on roll. We're not going to worry about that right now. Archibald, what are you doing?
I'm standing there watching what's going on here.
Alexa patiently waits and does nothing. Amar, you can go and get your weapon now.
I'm going to go and get my weapon now.
I do that.
All right, so Amar walks over to pick up his weapon, his dagger, which is lying against the wall. All right, so a couple things to note. You throw your weapon, you do have to go retrieve it. On your turn, you can move, and if you didn't, and you can, as you're moving, you are allowed to pick up something if that something is less than your basic lift weight. A dagger is something that's easy to pick up, right? So he can, on the same turn, pick up his weapon. Note that the weapon is not readied now, okay? So Amar, you will to attack again, you would have to ready your weapon. Right. Phelan, what are you going to do?
I'm going to swat at some flies with my tail.
Okay. Burke, back to you.
I'm going to fast draw a dagger.
Okay. You got to roll for that. Success. So you now have 2 daggers.
And then I'm going to throw the dagger that is in the dagger, not my long knife, my dagger, at my dummy.
Are you ambidextrous?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then go ahead and roll as normal for a thrown knife. And that's a hit.
See, that's how you
roll.
throw a knife. I'll give you some lessons later.
Archibald, it's your turn.
I say to Burke, wow, that's a nice knife throw.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, can I eat your donut?
Don't touch the donut.
All right.
Alexa raises her eyebrows impressed.
I wink at Alexa.
We all attempt to seduce Alexa as a group.
I feel like that needs a charisma check here.
Okay.
Fail a jealousy check.
are you? All right, Trevor. Are you trying to seduce Alexa?
No, just winking.
Okay.
Jesus.
He's like, look at me, I'm a cool badass.
All right, Amar, it's your turn. You can move back to the front of the dummy and ready your weapon in the same turn.
Can I just attack it from the back?
If you choose to, but you'd have to ready your weapon before you do.
I'm gonna ready my weapon.
Okay. And then Phelan, are you doing anything?
I am glaring.
All right.
Kind of stamping my back hoof like I'm almost getting ready, like charge, like just not happy.
All right. You've proven that some of you have got some skills. I need y'all to calm down and focus. We're going to learn a few more things. Since you decided to all throw knives, or at least some of you did, let's talk about aiming. All right. If each of you goes, or Sergeant Brachus walks up to each of you and hands each of you a bow and arrow.
Do I hold this in my mouth?
Except for Phelan.
No.
As he walks past Phelan, he just gives Phelan a dirty look.
Phelan, bitch.
Phelan kind of does like a and stamps his front hoof.
Don't get sassy with me, horse.
I am not a horse.
I think
you look like one.
It smells like one too.
You're funny.
All right. Each of you needs to take a few steps back. When you're shooting a bow, you're not going to be standing right next to your target. We're not doing this as combat right now, so you guys don't have to worry about combat turns.
So Phelan backs up 4 hexes.
Okay. Your max move is going to be if your max move is 5, then you can max move is going to be 5 hexes.
My max move right now is 4.
Okay. Phelan, Amar. Since I have to control your character right now, how far do you want to back him up, or where are you moving?
Move him in line, I guess, with everyone else, because they seem to be lining up.
Okay.
And I'm not a crazy person. Mostly.
Mostly. All right. I want each of you to go ahead, take careful aim, and try to shoot your dummy. All right, we're going to go back to combat. So Burke is going to be going first. Okay? You have a bow and arrow. When you're working with bows and arrows, it takes 1 second to put the arrow on the bow. It takes an additional second to draw the bow. Okay?
Do you aim before you draw, or does it matter?
You would aim after you draw.
Okay. So I knock an arrow.
Okay. So you're knocking an arrow. Archibald.
I also knock an arrow.
Alexa knocks an arrow.
I'm so tempted to throw the bow, but I'm going to knock an arrow.
Phelan. I'm assuming you're going to take a do nothing.
I'm going to move my hose apart almost like I'm trying to pretend to draw a bow.
Okay. Okay. Burke, it's back to you.
I aim, or I draw.
Yep, you have to draw next. Archibald.
I draw also.
Alexa draws her bow.
I draw my bow.
And Phelan.
I aim.
Phelan still has a chance. He can do nothing. He can.
Different guy, sir.
Forgot about the dumb horse.
Phelan says, "Oh, I drew before I knocked an arrow. There's an arrow in here."
That's
all right, Burke.
All right, I aim.
Okay, when you aim, this is important. You have to specify what you're aiming at, because you only get a bonus for attacking what you're aiming at.
I aim at the dummy in front of me.
Okay. Archibald.
I aim at the dummy in front of me.
Amar, or Alexa. Alexa aims at the dummy in front of Phelan. Amar.
I grit my teeth and aim at the dummy in front of me.
Phelan.
Says, thank you, my dear. Looking at Alexa.
Of course.
Yes.
All right, Burke.
All right, I aim again.
All right, you're going to continue to aim. Just be aware that you cannot get more than a +2. Okay.
So evaluate, you can get +3. Aim can only get +2.
Correct. Okay. Archibald.
I let go of the arrow.
Okay. Now, whenever you aim, since you're attacking, first of all, it's just like attacking with a knife as your base attack, right? It's going to be based against your skill in archery. Now, I do not believe that you actually have a skill in archery right now, correct?
I do not.
All right. So, the base skill for archery is... Okay, so it's an average skill, and it defaults to Dex -5. Okay, so your roll is going to be your Dex -5. So what you can do now, Archibald, you go to your character sheet, okay, and you're going to roll against your Dex. Now your modifier, we're going to walk through this. You get -5 because you don't know archery. You get +1 because of the fact that you were aiming. You also get the accuracy of a bow. So each weapon, ranged weapon, has a accuracy rating. Okay.
All right.
That accuracy, if you aim, you get to add the accuracy weapon as well as the +1 for aim. If you do not aim, you do not get to add the accuracy bonus for that given weapon. Okay.
So it'd be a -3.
Well, so it's -5. Do you know what the accuracy bonus for a bow is offhand?
No.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm already there. You guys are shooting regular bows, and they have an accuracy of 2. So yes, you get -5, +1 for aiming, +2 for the accuracy of the weapon. So it's only a -2 against your Dex. So you roll Dex -2, and that will tell you whether or not you hit.
All right. It was a failure.
You failed. You hear arrow slams against the back wall.
Whoops.
Alexa continues to take careful aim at the target in front of Phelan. Amar.
What do I use?
Are you going to shoot?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot.
So you can click the dice next to your dexterity, and then your modifier is going to be for archery because you don't have the archery skill, correct?
Correct.
So it's DX -5 plus the weapon accuracy +1 for aiming. Weapon accuracy is 2. So it's going to be DX and then a modifier of -2. And you missed. Phelan?
I'm just gonna sit here laughing.
Bert.
Great show.
Since I already aimed twice, I can't aim anymore. I will shoot.
I mean, you can. You just won't get any extra advantages.
Right. So then it's dexterity.
Yep.
And it's a modifier of -5, and then +2 for aim and +2 for the bow. Correct?
For the weapon accuracy, yes.
So it'd just be -1.
Yep. And you have a strong success, slamming the arrow directly mid-mass of the dummy.
Ha ha! Suck it.
All right. Now, I want you to go ahead and you're going to roll for damage. Okay? So a regular bow is your thrusting +1.
So I just roll thrust and just add 1?
Well, right now, let me look. Right?
Not bad.
Jared's having fun.
He's got -1 thrusting damage.
All right, so your thrust is 1d6 minus 4. So yes, it would be 1d6 minus 4 mod plus 1.
It didn't give me an option for mod.
Okay, so you're going to roll 1d6 minus 3. So it's the same as your swing then. Or you could just roll manually in that case instead of using the sheet. You could just roll.
He did.
Can you do? I mean, if your damage goes to negative, does it just go to 0 then?
You always do a minimum of 1 damage.
Oh damn.
As far I believe. Yeah. See, crushing is a minimum of 0. Else your min is 1. Okay. So you do 1 damage. All right. So Burke, you rolled, you hit, and you did 1 damage. Archibald.
I put the bow down.
Wait, what? Oh, wait, you already shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you put the bow down. Alexa shoots.
So as Alexa shoots, I go, pew pew!
Of course you do. All right, so Alexa shoots her bow. The mod we've already done. Everybody's doing this. I mean, everybody's doing the same thing. So we already know it's Dex -1. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll for Dex -1. And Alexa's shot misses wide.
Alexa.
Smashing into the wall.
Again?
I did my best.
After all this time, I expected a little more.
Alexa hangs her head in shame. Amar?
Well, I already shot, so I guess I just dropped the bow.
Okay.
I'm sickened by it.
Phelan.
And I guess I'm just gonna
keep heckling
sit
people.
there. Stand there. Stand. I'm not sitting. Standing.
So Sergeant Brachius shakes his head. The lot of you is going to get yourselves killed. All right. So, as you can see, if you take your time, you've got the better chance of hitting your target. But none of you know how to shoot a bow, so it's going to be hard for you to do. I suggest you stick with what you know. The next thing we're going to talk about is how to trick your opponent to get yourself an advantage. Each of you can go ahead and walk up to your training dummy. Amar?
Can't move myself?
I'm asking what you're doing.
Yeah. Going up to the dummy.
I don't want to assume that you're doing that. You may choose to be difficult, so.
I'm choosing to be difficult now, but not in character.
So each of you knows how to attack and how to evaluate your opponent. One of the things you can do is to feint. You can pretend to hit them and pull short of actually hitting them. If you do so, you've got the chance to make it harder for them to defend against you the next time you actually try to hit them. So I want each of you to go ahead and feint and then try to attack. All right, Burke, you're up first. Feint is a combat maneuver. You cannot feint an attack on the same turn unless you take an all-out attack. Now, he hasn't talked about it yet, so we're going to pretend you guys don't know what an all-out attack is. So you can go ahead and feint.
So I feint.
Now, the way feinting works is it's a contest of melee weapon skills. So let's talk about contests, okay? We're going to pretend, for the sake of this contest, that each of these dummies has a melee weapon skill of 10, okay? So what's going to happen is you and the opponent would roll against your melee weapon skills. So you would roll against your skill with whatever weapon you're trying to attack with. So go ahead and do that. And you rolled a 14, and your opponent rolled a 10. Now, a contest is a little bit different. So they both succeeded, okay? Because remember, we said the dummies were going to have a skill of 10.
Yeah.
But a contest is your margin of success versus their margin of success. In this case, you both had a margin of success of 0. Your feint does not work. Archibald.
I literally faint and fall on the floor.
Okay. Alexa attempts a feint. So, roll that. Submit. Now, in this case, Alexa failed. So it doesn't even matter what the opponent rolled. What?
That dice is cocked? That's a reroll?
So Alexa failed. Okay. So what that means, since Alexa failed, she doesn't even get her opponent doesn't even have to roll. She just failed. The feint failed. Okay. Amar.
Crack that whip. Fuck.
And you failed. So your feint fails as well. Phelan. Your success. So then the dummy is rolling against you. And they're rolling against a 10. And they rolled a 10. Now, in this case, your margin of success was 4. Okay? His margin of success was 0, so you won the contest. Okay? Now, if you win, your target receives a reduction for his defense against your next attack. All right?
Okay.
So in this case, -4. So when you go to hit the dummy next time, if he were to parry, dodge, or block, he would get a -4 on that parry, dodge, or block. So everybody's feinted. Burke, was your feint a success? No, it was not.
No.
Do you want to try to feint, or do you understand it?
I understand it.
Okay.
But I go move to here and check on Archibald.
Okay. Archibald.
Hey, you
I
good,
open
man?
my eyes.
You good? You passed out for a second there.
Oh, that,
Sergeant Brachious coughs loudly. It's up to you if you want to use your training seriously to learn to survive or not. If you want to die, all the better for you.
I stand back up. I'm fine.
Well, you can't stand. You were laying down and we're in combat.
Okay, I crouch.
You can kneel, sit, or crawl.
Okay. I kneel.
Okay.
And then I say, I'm fine.
All right. Alexa does nothing. Amar.
I attack the dummy.
And you did you successfully feint or no?
No.
Nope.
Okay. So you're just going to roll a regular attack then. And you hit. All right. Phelan.
I'll attack.
All right. Go ahead and roll for your attack.
Like that. We went wildly, but we're still going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hit. Now, in this case, the dummies aren't defending, but if they were defending, since you got a hit, they would have a -4 to their defense. Okay?
Yep.
And you guys, I'm not going to be able to keep track of everybody's statuses, so you just have to let me know.
Him.
And you would do 13 impaling damage. Impressive. Okay.
Slam my horn all the way through that thing and, like, nail it to the wall.
Then it's stuck on your horn, you fool.
And your horn breaks on the wall.
Damn
The horn dropping.
My horn broke, it didn't shit.
Broke. I think that's what it broke off, you fool.
All right.
Snorting it.
Oh my god.
All right, so each of you knows how to do an attack. Each of you knows how to feint. Each of you knows how to evaluate. One of the things you can do in combat is you can focus purely on your attack. And there's a few things you can do. You can focus so hard on your attack that it makes it easier for you to hit. It's a very determined attack. If you want, you can try to strike twice. They'll be quick thrusts. They'll work the way they normally do. If you want, you can choose to feint and then attack quickly and in succession. And lastly, you can put all your strength behind the attack to do more damage. So, each of you, I want you to focus solely on your attack and try to hit the dummy in front of you. Burke, you're up first.
So it's all-out attack. So I'll do a strong attack.
So a strong attack, you have the same chance to hit. So go ahead and roll to see if you hit. And you hit. Now you're going to roll for damage, and you get a +2 to your damage, or +1 per die. So how many die are you rolling right now?
1.
Okay, so you get your +2. You get whichever's better. So if your damage was 3d something, you would get a +3. If it was 4d something, you'd get a +4. Okay? So you get the better of the two. So you get +2 to your damage. So go ahead and roll for damage, and it's +2 modifier. And I don't know if it doesn't give you a modifier, we'll just add 2.
Yeah, so then there was no modifier.
Okay.
So it's 4.
All right, so you deal 4 damage. There you go. All right, Archibald.
So I have my small knife, but I have to ready it yet, right?
Actually, since Brachius was explaining something, if you wish to have stood up and readied your weapon while he was talking, I will allow that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I am going to do a double attack.
All right, so that means you get to execute. You get to try to hit twice.
All right.
But you don't get any modifiers one way or another. It's just 2 regular hits.
All right.
So it's a hit, and then you roll regular damage.
So which would be the swing, right?
Well, were you swinging or were you thrusting?
I was swinging.
All right, then you'd roll for your swing damage. And then you get a second attack, so you do 4, and now you get to attack again.
All right. All right. Success and... Okay. 1.
Okay, so you would have done 5 total damage then.
All right.
All right. Alexa. Alexa does a determined attack, all-out attack determined. So Alexa's going to get a +4 to her chance to hit. So I would swing against the short sword with a modifier of 4. And it is a critical success. So here you notice again, 5 is a critical success because her target was 17. So she has a higher chance of crit by using something like determined. Okay. Amar?
Well, since everyone's done everything else, I'll do faint.
Okay. So first you're going to roll like you would, so a contest of skills for feint.
Oh, which is
so
again...
So you just roll like you were going to hit, but it's a contest against the dummy. And we already agreed that they're rolling at a 10 for this particular demonstration. Yeah, I saw that. All right, so you had a margin of success of 1, but the dummy had a margin of success of 2, so your feint does not work. However, you may still attack on this turn now.
Wait, wouldn't they have -2? Because their target was 10, so they failed.
Oh, that's right. You're right, -2. So yes, you're correct. So you wouldn't have rolled for damage yet. So they failed by 2. So you did win the feint. They would get a -1 against their active defense, but you have to roll it to attack separately, not for damage. You got to roll to attack.
And I don't get a modifier, right?
What's that?
I don't get a modifier?
You do not, but you did win the contest. So you rolled an 11, which is a hit. If the dummy were trying to defend, the dummy would get a -1 to their defense because you had a margin of success of 1. So you won the contest on the feint. So now if the dummy were trying to dodge, let's say his dodge was 8, then he would be dodging at a 7. So I'll just go ahead and do a roll 3d6 for dodge for the dummy. And he rolled a 10. And he had to roll at least a 7. So he would have failed his dodge and you would have hit him.
And then attack. And you would do...
I keep fucking up.
And you do 1 damage. Okay. So that was Amar. So Phelan, you're next.
I will follow in the footsteps of my beautiful Alexa and do a determined.
Okay. So you're gonna roll the skill and then add a modifier of 4.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's a hit.
It is a hit. There you go. You can roll for damage if you want to. 8 impaling damage. All right. Now each of you has gone and tried to do that. But Sergeant Brachius takes his practice sword and swings it at Archibald. Roll modifier. And he rolls a success.
All right.
Archibald, because you took an all-out attack, you do not get to defend.
Okay.
So this is what I'm trying to demonstrate. If you take an all-out attack, you do not get defense. All right?
Okay.
So he smacks his sword against your arm.
All right.
The only problem is, if you're going to attack all out, you won't be able to focus on trying to defend yourself if somebody attacks you. So pay attention and choose your times to use it wisely. All right, I want each of you to go ahead and step back away from your dummies again. We're back out of combat time. I know it's a little weird because we're kind of slipping in and out of combat time, but we're back out of combat time.
TR, how far do you want to move back? Oh, I step back one normal.
The normal amount.
Normal amount. Okay.
The normal input. Input. Armpit?
Burke. Okay, you're going to move that far back. All right.
I kill the hooker horse.
I hop up on the crate and sit down on it.
Okay. All right. Now I want each of you to run up and hit that dummy. Move as fast as you can to get there. All right, we're back in combat time. So Burke, you're sitting. Guess what?
I stand up.
Archibald.
I move towards the dummy and attack.
Okay. So this is what's called a move and attack. If you're going to move and attack in the same turn, your skill to hit is at -4.
Well, and how much move does he have?
I have 3.
Okay.
So then you can move up to 3 hexes and attack something within range of your weapon. What range is your weapon? Is it close or is it 1?
It's a small knife.
So it's close. So technically you'd have to be standing in the same hex. So for example, if you move 3 and you're in the hex next to, you would not be able to attack that turn.
Okay.
Okay. And because of the way tokens work, I'm not going to have you move into their hex, but the next turn you'll say you're going to move into their hex, right?
Okay.
So you couldn't actually attack this turn because you moved 3.
Yep.
All right. Alexa moves up to the dummy and attacks it. She's going to be rolling at -4. And she fails. Okay. Amar?
And move up to attack it.
Okay. What is your move? Your move is 5. You got plenty. All right. What weapon are you using, by the way?
Feet.
Feet. You're going to try to kick it?
A dagger.
Dagger. Okay. So, all right. So you move up and you try to attack the dummy. So go ahead and roll for hit at -4.
Yep.
And you hit. All right. Phelan.
Yep.
What are you doing? It's your turn.
So, by the way, as an addendum, I realize my move is actually only 2, assuming I'm wearing my armor right now.
Okay. Okay.
because I'm wearing plate mail, and you get -1 per set of legs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay.
So I can still move up the 2 and attack.
Well, what is your reach on your horn? Did we determine that? Was it close or 1?
Close.
Okay, so technically you can't. You'd have to move 1 more to reach close range.
Well, technically, I've been standing here the entire time I've been attacking it. So if I were standing here, we'll assume I moved back to here.
Okay, we'll do that then. All right, so you're going to attack at -4.
All right, I am going to this one for bang. Ouch. Fuck.
Okay, that was a miss. All right.
I'm so tired, I can barely lift up my legs, and I just kind of sadly flip my hoof out at it,
Oh, you're attacking with your legs? Oh, you were.
Yeah.
Okay, Burke, it's your turn.
Curse these goddamn short legs.
Can you only move 2?
Yeah.
Archibald.
All right, I'll move into the square and attack.
Okay, and since now at this point, because you're only moving 1 hex, this is called a step. All right, a step in attack does not have a penalty.
Okay.
Oh, so you can move 1 hex and attack without penalty?
Yes, you may move 1 hex and attack without penalty.
All right.
That's not on top of a normal move, right? I can't move 2 and then say I step forward.
No, because if you're moving more than 1 hex, then you get the -4.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Okay. I got failure.
And it's a fail. Okay. Alexa does nothing. Amar?
I also do nothing.
Phelan?
I just turn around and stare at the instructor.
Okay. Burke? Is anybody else going to do anything at this point?
God, curse these short legs.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and let Burke. So that would be in your next turn. Your next turn would be another 2, and then you would move 1 more and attack. So you wouldn't actually get the penalty for your attack.
Yeah, it'd just be a step and attack.
Yep. Okay, so the move and attack is an option that you have then if you're on the battlefield. All right. The next thing I want each of you to do is to stand in front of your dummy and turn around so that it's behind you. So Alexa turns around so the dummy's behind her.
I turn around so the dummy's behind me.
I turn around.
I do too.
Every then I get up there.
I don't know how to turn around. How do I turn around?
There's a blue square on the top of your... Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
So, at this point, each of you ain't facing the other dummy. I want you to try and hit that. Burke, you're first. Now, this is... Whenever you're attacking, that is something that is not in a normal attack area, okay? You have a modifier to hit. It's called a wild swing. So, Burke, I'm gonna explain what yours is, and it's gonna apply for everybody except Jared, because Jared's different because he has peripheral vision. Okay.
Of course.
If you are attacking anything that is to your sides, okay, it is a -2 to hit. Now in hex combat, front is the tile directly in front of you, and the 2 tiles to the side of that. Okay. So you have 3 tiles that are considered in front of you. You have 3 tiles that are considered behind you, and then 2 tiles that are to your sides. Okay?
Wait, what?
That's 8 tiles.
Yeah.
Wait, the 3 in front. Oh, then there's 2 that are beside, and then 1 behind. You're correct.
Okay.
So the 3 in front of you are front. The 2 that are kind of behind and back are side, and the 1 behind you is behind.
And it's -2 for the sides, and what is it for behind?
-4 for behind. The same penalty as if you were doing a move and attack.
Okay. So that would just be my regular attack with a modifier of -4.
Yep. And you would hit. Nice. And you would still need to be in range close. So
I guess, yeah, so that's still be
we'll
bigger.
assume that you were.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing you got to pay attention to. If somebody's a hex behind you, a full hex behind you, right? You can't hit them with your dagger. You have to move in next to them. If somebody with a sword, for example, were attacking you from behind, you wouldn't be able to just do a wild swing to hit them because they would be reach 1. Okay? All right. Archibald.
All right. I will attack with my dagger. Or my knife.
And it's -4 to hit.
I got success.
All right. So as you can see, if you're trying to hit behind you, or you're trying to hit to the side of you, it's just not easy to do. Weapons are designed to attack in front of you. Keep that in mind. Don't let the enemy get behind you. But you can also use that to get behind an enemy. You get behind them, and they're going to have a harder time hitting you.